Ladies and gentlemen, America has gone through a very significant population shift. Over the last few years, the deaths have far exceeded the births in America, and it actually got worse when 2020 hit. Now, that's one thing. They will talk about that Jap scene all day long on TV, but you notice they don't tell you what the numbers are as far as deaths are concerned. They make sure they don't tell you anything about it. So they're saying that America is experiencing a very significant demographic shift. And some are blaming it on the lack of immigrants. Immigrants are not coming to the country like they used to. And of course, some are blaming the pandemic. I'm just going to play part of this audio from NPR, just part of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. We decided to put everything on pause. We just wanted to make sure we were in a stable place financially.
They're expecting a baby in a few weeks. But overall, the pandemic appears to have accelerated a nationwide baby bust. U.S. births were down nearly 8% in December 2020 compared to a year before, following years of declining fertility rates since the mid-2000s. On the other end of the life cycle is the pandemic. More than 300,000 Americans died from the virus in 2020. Even more died last year. Alabama's health officer, Dr. Scott Harris, says more people died than were born in 2020 for the first time in that state's known history.
In World War II or during the flu pandemic of 1918 or World War I, we've never had a time where deaths exceeded births.
University of New Hampshire professor Kenneth Johnson says Alabama's numbers aren't outliers. His analysis shows more people died that were born in half of all states in 2020, something that has never happened before.
It was pretty surprising that it was as widespread as it was.
Kurt Metzger, a demographer in Michigan, says deaths eclipsed births there as well, and he's concerned about the trend. Michigan has lost 6 congressional seats since 1970, and Metzger says population equals power.
Federal dollars and the resources that come really will continue to go south and southwest if we don't figure out how to start to stabilize our population and grow it.
Shifting population could force more school districts to merge in certain areas, and the economy could stagnate with fewer working age.
Okay, so you heard Alabama for the first time in its history has been experiencing more deaths than births, but they are far from the only state. A demographer in Michigan says the deaths eclipse births there as well, and he's concerned about the trend. And they lost congressional seats since the 70s, as you heard. So the population shift is going to have a big impact on school districts and the economy. So they are very concerned about that. But, really, what can they do? You can't really turn this thing around, you know. As you can see, the way they are doing things with the pandemic, shoot, that thing will be here for infamy. The way they're doing things. So they are noting, also, the baby boomer population, which is still the largest. And they're saying that there are more likely to have a bigger median age and thus outside of what we would consider childbearing years. Naturally, you're going to see fewer births and more deaths, especially over the last 2 years with the pandemic. There is one reason why the US has historically been able to grow its population, and that is immigration. But restrictions in recent years have affected immigrations, right? There's nowhere near as many immigrants that are coming now that you saw before. Even still, with births down and deaths up, it accounts for most of the population growth in 2020 and 2021. So, mm, America's really taking these L's, y'all. You know, it, it has gone downhill since we got past that 400-year mark in 2019. And it's almost like this started hitting them immediately. And at the rate they're going with the pandemic, with no end in sight with this thing, it is no telling by next year, it may be the whole country is experiencing more deaths than births. I think there's still some states where it's not to that point yet, but over half, that's pretty significant. That is very significant, y'all. America, America. America is, you ain't never going to see those days like you did in 2019. Mm-mm. And look, we're in 2022. I just can't believe everything that has happened in just the last, what, month and a half of 2022. It has been unbelievable with the things that are going on. So this week is going to be seeing what's going to happen with this Russia and Ukraine situation, because it sounds like they're ready to just invade. And I'm sure that's going to be another big impact on deaths exceeding births if something jumps off. I mean, let's be real. Anything can happen now. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.